Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Sermondo Talks. My name is Christina, and my guest today is Thomas Baker, the founder of the Amazon consulting agency FordeBaker. Let's welcome him and ask him a few questions. So I'm here today with Thomas Baker, the founder of FordeBaker, and he's based in the UK. Hi, glad to have you here.
Hi, Christina. It's a pleasure to be joining you today and to kind of share my story and to tell everyone a little bit more about what we do at FordeBaker.
We look forward to that. And we just start right away. In one sentence, what is FordeBaker?
FordeBaker is an Amazon and e-commerce consultancy. We provide strategic services to a range of consumer and B2B businesses to launch and sell onto Amazon and to kind of how that fits into a wider e-commerce strategy.
Do you have your own experience with Amazon FBA?
Yeah, so previous to setting up the agency, I worked internally for a toy company, and I was head of marketing there. And I set up their Amazon proposition across Europe and in the US, and we were using FBA in all countries. I'm also in the process of setting up my own private label as well. So I'm pretty hands-on with Amazon and FBA. Which is a nice, and a very intentional thing that I do when I'm consulting with clients. It's important that I've been there and done that, and I'm doing it myself, because I think that helps them to kind of be reassured that I know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
what we're doing, and we're still very much kind of up to date with kind of how things work, and like I say, doing it ourselves, so we can kind of apply those learnings.
So you basically know both sides now. So what would you say, what makes a good full service agency in general?
Good question. I think it is having that history. You've got to have like a lot of different skills to be a full service agency. So, with Amazon, that goes from operations and supply chain, very technical, practical skills, through to copywriting, managing ad campaigns, affiliate marketing, much more creative stuff as well, kind of how you set out your enhanced brand content, A+ content, so on. So I think the key thing is to be able to adapt yourself and have a team around you that have got the right skills that can be kind of deployed in different areas to do the things you need to do, that every business needs to do when they're selling on Amazon, from very technical stuff to very creative stuff. And, some people like to specialize in different areas. Myself personally, I like to go across everything. And I think that helps my clients, because they know that I've got that experience from kind of end to end. And I can kind of pitch in and lead that strategy for them. So I think that's the key thing, is to have the all-round skills.
Okay, would you say that this is the reason why I should choose your agency over another agency, or what makes you unique?
So I don't have a kind of one-size-fits-all process or pricing or way that we work. It's designed to be completely flexible and essentially meet the challenges that each individual business has. That everyone's different, from an individual seller with a private label to a kind of multinational business with lots of brands and lots of SKUs. We have to be adaptable. So that's what we are in a nutshell. It's flexibility, it's adaptability. We're very cost conscious as well. So work remotely. I don't have any office overhead. You can see I'm in my living room. We're not wasting our clients' money on fancy offices and other kind of overheads. And I use a kind of network of people to come into the business to support my clients, as opposed to having kind of permanent full-time staff and the kind of overheads that incurs as well. So it's cost effective, it's adaptive, it's very flexible and kind of tailored to the client's needs.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. And also that you say that you work with different kinds of clients. Like it sounds like you're working with bigger companies, but also smaller businesses. Are your clients from all over the world, and who's your typical client?
So I have clients that are based in the UK and selling across Europe. And I have clients in the US as well that are doing the same thing. So they're mostly focused on the US, but looking to launch into the kind of European marketplaces as well. So I've got experience of both, US, North American markets and Europe. And that comes from the work I do with my clients right now. And also when I was in-house, I was leading a vendor central account in the US and seller central in Europe for that toy company that I mentioned. So we can kind of do it all for different clients, and that works in North America and in Europe. I wouldn't say I actually I don't have a atypical kind of client. I think it's my client roster, if you like, is reflective of Amazon because it's so large. There's so many different types of business on there. My clients reflect that. So I have private label businesses. I have people that have created their own products. I have multinational brands that are very consumer driven in health and skincare. I have B2B businesses as well. That's a really interesting element of our work, kind of the Amazon for Business side of things, which is growing really quickly, and I think that will continue to grow. So I expect that I'll see more B2B companies coming onto the roster over the next kind of year. At the moment, it's mostly kind of consumer, but I think that will kind of start to even itself out. But in terms of size, we work with any kind of client really, as long as they're interested in Amazon and can see the opportunity, and we obviously help them to see what that opportunity.
Oh, this was actually my next question. What do you expect from your clients? Most of the time, people ask like, what can I expect from the full service agency that I'm working with? But I mean, it's a both side thing. So, what do you expect from your clients?
When it works best is where they're saying to me, look, we're going to commit the time to making Amazon work. We want you and your team to tell us how it should work and what's the best way of setting things up for our particular business. And essentially they're challenging me to come up with that strategy and the operational setup to make it as profitable as possible for them. I think it tends to work best when they're doing that. They're essentially enabling me and my team to maximize their profit on Amazon. So I don't expect them to be doing all the copywriting and dealing with shipping plans and things like that. We'll do all of that, but we need their product expertise. We need to understand their audience, how they communicate to their audience. So if they supply that kind of information, we'll do the rest and make it work for them. So some of the clients tend to, from a full service point of view, that's kind of how it works. Some of the clients want to do some of the things themselves, and that's perfectly fine with us. So, for example,
you also offer like a la carte services, not just full service management, but also when I say like I only want my PPC to be handled by an expert, I can also go to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the clients do that. So and it does tend to be more on the kind of advertising and marketing services where they can, like you say, take an a la carte approach. They may have already set everything up on Amazon and are happy with their listings and imagery and so on and so forth, but they want someone with specialist experience to run their ad campaigns. So we'll do that as well. And we're happy to kind of, as I said at the start, we're very flexible. And we're kind of happy to work in any way that fits with the way the business runs itself.
How do you handle clients that are not happy with your work? I mean, this can always happen for whatever reason. What would you do if a client says like, no, I didn't want this to be like this?
I mean, that never happens. I mean, look, so I know from being in-house what it's like to be in my client's position. I was in-house for 10 years and worked, like I said, worked with lots of agencies. So I know what it's like. So what I try to do is prevent things from going wrong in the first place. So that comes down to lots of communication, very clear communication, being very specific about what the objectives are and when things are going to happen and how they'll happen. And spending a lot of time up front to explain the process, and also to explain that, look, we're dealing with Amazon and we don't have total control over how things work. And sometimes things are going to go wrong. That's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
I'm sure lots of other kind of Amazon consultants will kind of share in that experience, but it's the truth. So we have to be very transparent and honest and say, look, yes, it's a brilliant opportunity, and yes, you're going to do well, but there are times when it will be a struggle. So explaining that up front helps over the long term. When something does go wrong, it's just about being honest about it and saying, look, we've planned properly, we've done things for the right reason, but for whatever particular reason, it's not worked out. So let's identify what that is, why it's happened, make sure it doesn't happen again, and rectify the situation as quickly as possible. And I think clients just appreciate that honesty. You know, that they know that nothing ever runs 100% smoothly.
Yeah.
I think it's just having that kind of real relationship with each other that helps things to run as smoothly as possible. Yes, there's going to be disagreements. Yes, sometimes things don't go perfectly well, but I think that's part and parcel of working in the space that we do.
Yeah, I think so too. What kind of feedback do your clients give you? Imagine that you're your own client. What would you say to another person when talking about your work?
I think, gosh, I mean, I'm not great at like talking about myself in that way. So
perfect service, great employees.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, what I'd like to think is that my clients can see that I care about their business growth and also their personal growth with Amazon as well. So, I mean, part of what I'm doing is because a lot of the clients have maybe dipped their toes into Amazon but don't really have any experience of it. A lot of the time I'm educating them as well as growing their business, and that's a part of it that I really enjoy. So I'd like to think they're saying I'm very passionate about what I do. I care about their businesses growing. I care about having long-term business relationships with my clients. I think that's the best way for them to grow and to sell on Amazon. I will do short-term projects if people want me to do short-term projects. And that happens regularly. But I always come at it from a point of view is let's build a sustainable, long-term, profitable business for you on Amazon. And I think that reflects in the way that we work. And I like to be very collaborative as well. So, you know, it's not just a case of, even if we're doing full service, it's not just a case of them saying, okay, here's the product, here's the budget, go off and, you know, come back to me in 3 months' time. It's a constant communication. And I really kind of try to instill that ethos into the way that we work, so that it's a partnership. I think they'd say that I'm committed to kind of making it a partnership and something that they can learn from as well as profit from.
Okay. Are there also things that you don't like about your job? Like, what do you like least about your job?
What don't I like? I mean, there's the usual things of being kind of self-employed, running an agency, of dealing with my taxes and things like that. I don't want to do. But I have a very good accountant, if he's watching.
Shout out.
I would be. Yeah. I'm sure he's got better things to do. I think, I mean, I can get frustrated with Amazon, that can be annoying. They will do things because of their power. They'll do things that obviously suit them, and that they can be very strict on things. And there's loads of cases of accounts being suspended for no particular reason. That's never happened to me, of course, or any of my clients. But there are frustrations with Amazon and the way that they kind of treat. I think they could be better at in the way that they treat their sellers. I think that's beginning to change.
Yeah, I think so too. Also with their new brand protection programs and everything. But I think the seller service is still pretty improvable, I would say.
Yeah, it's improvable. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the only thing that you don't like about your job?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy working remotely, and the flexibility that gives me.
Was this the reason you became self-employed? The flexibility?
Yeah, I've always wanted to do my own thing, but it was just about finding the right time to do that. My wife also works remotely for another marketing agency.
Nice.
Not
Power
with me.
couple.
Yeah. So, and she's been doing that. She's been doing that for about 18 months. So, I left kind of the in-house world about 15 months ago to set up FordeBaker. And we travelled for the first 6 months, which was amazing. And it was not only the travelling, but it also gave me the space to and time to build up my my offering and start to build up the client roster as well, in a kind of low cost way. I wasn't dealing with kind of London prices for anything, so that was a nice way of getting started. And I could have only done that by working remotely, and just from my laptop. I mean, the opportunities that technology gives us to do those things and to be very flexible and entrepreneurial means that I've been able to kind of do the things that I want to do and to set up the agency. And that was 15 months ago, and it's gone really well. So I'm very happy with the way things are going.
So you like travel. What else do you spend your money on?
I mean, all of my clients' money is spent very well.
I mean, your own salary.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So travel's a huge thing. I have my first child due in 3 months, so there's a lot of money going into that right now, buying lots of stuff.
Congratulations!
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, travel's a big thing, but also being in London, I get to go to lots of comedy, theatre, music, those kind of things. That's what I kind of enjoy doing.
So these are also your hobbies, I assume. What other hobbies do you have?
Sport is it's a bit of a cliche, but sport's a big part of kind of my life. Don't get to play as much. Yeah, soccer, cricket for the English people that are watching. Yeah, those two are the main ones. Yeah, spent a lot of time consuming soccer and cricket content. Yeah.
Okay, now to my favorite question. If you could hire any famous person in the world to work with you or for you, who would that be and why?
Can I say Jeff Bezos?
You can say Jeff Bezos. Finally.
For many reasons, I'd quite like to work with him. I mean, obviously, he probably doesn't know his way around Amazon's Seller Central as well as I do, so he probably might not be much use there. But he's got a bit of cash, I hear, coming nicely. But also, actually, I think I read a lot of kind of business books and business news blogs, so on and so forth. And there's lots of people out there that position themselves as thought leaders, trendsetters, whatever, however they want to describe themselves. And obviously there's a lot of nonsense out there. I think Jeff Bezos is one of like very, very few people that I've taken a lot from in terms of kind of how he thinks about his business, how he deals with strategy and decision making and things like that. So I use a lot of those kind of principles when I'm working with my clients. You know, there's a kind of classic one that he talks about, which is kind of type 1 and type 2 decision making. So going through a one-way door and going through a revolving door. So if you've got a decision that you can easily change, i.e. going through a revolving door, then make the decision, test it, and just go with it. If it's a decision that, you know, is going to require lots of thought and is going to be very hard to pull back from, i.e. Investing in starting on a Seller Central, you know, store, then do the research beforehand, think it through, plan it, and then do it. And so I think it's having that kind of insight. I've learned a lot from him already, but it'd be nice if he was sitting next to me.
I can imagine. I always thought that more people would say Jeff Bezos, but I had all kinds of answers, and Jeff Bezos was only named once. But for me, it makes sense to hire him. So Jeff Bezos' tip is how you can do your decision making. What tips do you have for Amazon sellers? 3 of them.
3. Okay. I think doing your research up front about how to get started, how to do that properly, and the kind of common pitfalls that people face with Amazon. So getting your SKU and ASIN and product data correct as a basic one, you know, like that can cause all sorts of issues down the line. So making sure you know how to get things set up properly.
Or get help.
Or get help. Yes. Yeah. Get help. Just get help. That would be number 1. I think number 2 would be to learn about how the kind of Amazon, what I call the Amazon ecosystem works. So how, for example, conversion rate is integral to increasing your organic rankings, and why that's the case on Amazon, and how you can use paid media tactically to boost your visibility across the entire Amazon system and the way that it merchandises products. So understanding those kind of higher level systems within Amazon is a great way to kind of outcompete. That's number 2. I think, what else would I say? Number 3, I think understanding the metrics that Amazon provides. They're not too dissimilar to the normal kind of e-commerce metrics that you'll have in Google Analytics and your own website, but they are different. There are some differences. So I think understanding those inside out is crucial, because you need to understand what the data is telling you and how to learn from that, so you can make the right decisions. So that'd be the 3rd one.
That would be the 3rd one. Okay. Really good. That's some great advice. Do you have anything else to say before we end this interview? Anything you want to get out there? Maybe another shout out.
Yeah, aside from my accountant, I think one of the things that I'm seeing within the kind of Amazon world, if you like, is that there's a really positive trend of businesses that are committed to sharing advice and helping the community, and doing that in the right way. So it's a shout out to kind of anyone that's doing that. Sermondo are doing it. Hopefully I'm doing it. There are lots of other people that are kind of helping to educate and to grow the sector. So growing the number of people that are doing well from Amazon, but also growing the Amazon consultancy and marketing sector as well. So, and I like that that's changing. It's changing from the kind of startup bro kind of I'm an 8-figure seller culture to being a bit more professional and realistic and
Not posing in front of a Lamborghini.
exactly. I can't stand any of that stuff. So it's a shout out to anyone that doesn't do that stuff and is helping people to sell on Amazon.
Yeah. Okay, that's very sweet. Well, thank you for taking your time to answer my questions. It was a pleasure having you on our show, and yeah, I hope to speak to you soon.
Hey, thank you, Christina. I hope everyone enjoyed listening to me ramble on, and I look forward to speaking to people through the Sermondo marketplace. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, that's it. That was my interview with Thomas Baker. You can find his agency if you click the link that I put in the description. You can also find any other service you may need in order to grow your Amazon FBA business on Sermondo.com. Check it out, and I see you guys next time.